Our seventh recommendation is that GIS researchers take steps to illustrate how GIS can advance at the educational policy level. What do I mean by that? Well, because content is what policymakers often focus on, we must be clear, I think, that while students, for example in Hungary, are engaged in collecting data in the field, they are at the same time learning about ecoregions and watersheds. And while Colombian students are learning about GIS, they're also learning about the physical geography of their country. And the New Zealand students using GIS, they're also learning about plate tectonics at the same time. We also need to be clear that students are learning content in a variety of disciplines simultaneously. Students, for example, in Dr. Yaghi's class in Lebanon are learning English, and those at Pioneer High School in the USA are learning about surveying and mathematics through the use of GIS and GPS. Finally, demonstrating that skills and content learned is standards-based will increase in importance in this decade with increased accountability required of schools. Probably no reason to explain that any further, right? We all know that standards are here to stay, and we need to be sure that we match what we're doing with geospatial technologies to educational content standards. We recognize that for all the discussion about the advantage of having students solve problems with real-world data, Piaget's words that the trouble with education is that the best teaching methods are in fact the most difficult have special relevance here, don't they? Perhaps the most telling understatement of this study comes from our Switzerland colleagues, who stated that its use in the classroom requires different instruction than is conventionally used. That's an understatement. Teaching with any inquiry-based method is difficult because it is fraught with pedagogical uncertainties and inconsistencies in the data and in the results that could be discovered. It's messy business. The GIS education community must instill an educational culture where teachers are comfortable with this approach. Even in Canada, where the first GIS was implemented back in the 1960s, GIS is still not well established in education there. The Canadian situation is the world's norm. The bulk of educators still do not really know about GIS. They've increasingly heard about it, and they're surrounded with it based on their cell phones and other gadgets all around them that are geo-enabled. But they may confuse it with GPS or digital maps or just geo-visualization. They may dismiss it as just software or regard it as only suitable for university level, when that's far from the case. Others sometimes see GIS as a computerized atlas, thus missing the analytical capabilities of the tool. We have specific recommendations to move spatial analysis beyond something that just a few students may be fortunate enough to experience in school to a key component of all secondary education throughout the world. Let's chat about that in the next segment. Thanks.